No, 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 no. No. Just because you connected, to me, that didn't mean anything. You just began. The connection is useless unless you act on it, one way or the other. That's the topic of this video. For better or worse. My name's Ayn, and we're going to be talking about connections. Is it enough? Is it enough just for me to connect with someone? This is going to be the same example, but we're going to branch it off into two different directions. One of the things that come to mind when I think about this topic, I'm thinking about how this can actually play to your downfall, or it can actually play to a negative. It can play out badly for you in the long run. I'm thinking about how it may be somebody that maybe you're trying to determine on whether they should really even be in your circle, or you've had enough of some of the things that they're doing with. And it's hot in here. I got to turn this fan on. It's somebody who you're already reevaluating the way that the relationship is because of the way that they come at you. And you have that brief moment to where you connect with them on something that they may be complaining about. And you're like, oh yeah, there you go. We shared that moment. No, because what is this connection leading to? What am I actually doing with this connection? Is it allowing me to remain in their presence so I can be used up for whatever I'm already, going through the process of reevaluating on how this relationship should be? Is this really healthy? Is it really to my benefit? Or am I enabling for this to go on? For me to be mishandled, be mistreated? The other branching path that I'm thinking about this, before we talk about both of these topics further, I'm thinking about when me and my wife, we went out of town to do a visit. For a vacation. And I remember, we had some different, all the Uber drivers were awesome. And there was this one Uber driver in particular that was, just really down to earth, really personable. And I left some of my business cards with him. And he asked me, what did I write a book on? And I told him it was, family communication and what have you. And then he went going in his spiel of how, family communication could be improved and utilized better, and how some people, they can be toxic relationships. And he just went into a whole lot of what I already discussed in my book, and just on how to deal with them, and standing back and sometimes just kind of like staying in your lane. And it was just really awesome that we had connected. What I'm taking away from that is, that's good that me and him connected on that level, or I should say we connected to him on that level. But imagine if I came back home, since I was out of town, I came back home and I never tried to improve any of those relationships, anything that me and him connected on up off in the car. See, sometimes, and this is the point of me making this video, sometimes we make these connections, and these connections, they feel like a breath of fresh air, and they give us some pep in our step, they give us some juice to move forward, because you're like, wow, somebody else feels like that too. Cool. And you get a moment of alleviating all that frustration that you have from dealing with relationships like that in your life. And then some people, they go right back to doing what they're doing. I'm not saying that's what that young man had done. Everything I'm saying about him is positive. I'm just talking about, had I had chose not to come back and work on my relationships any, which really is kind of a poor example from the standpoint I already had written a book on family communication. And this is what I do. This is what I do. I'm always analyzing what's going on around me, doing these videos and also, I'm not just the fly-by-night person that's walking around with his head in the clouds. I am in tune with these relationships. And I'm always striving to see what's better for me and those that are around me. So, it been really, what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm saying it's a poor example, it would have really been unlikely that I would have came home and not tried to work on anything. But it hit me, and this is actually a vacation that we have taken, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. It hit me today, today, is the reason why I'm inspiring to do this video, that people have those type of connections and those moments where that light has come on, and it's just like, yeah, somebody else gets it, that this is, something healthy that I should strive for, knowing how to stay in my lane and letting people stay in theirs, and kind of backing up off people with some of the things. And opposed to that light coming on and going, yeah, let me work on me. Let me focus and see how I can do this better. They'll still maintain all of those same toxic, poor relationships that's around them. They feel good in that moment because it gave them a breath of fresh air, and it's like we're connected with something. I'm going to go to another example of something with a family member had spoken about on a new job that they had started. They had gotten a connection. See, not all connections are good. That's the reason why it's up to you on how you want to work that connection. Family member started a new job. Long story short, they met a complainer. They met a complainer right off the bat. Man, this is XYZ. I feel this way up about it. I feel this way, that, and other. And I gave them an idea on what to do. I'm like, look, refer them to this, because this is something that's positive that's going on. It allowed them to just actually able to sit, watch, and observe. And if they really got a problem with it, they can see what's in their control in order to do. Opposed to running into you, ruining your outlook on the job, because I'm clearly not getting that you're viewing your new vocation this way. And they'll be bending your ear. And it'll be a connection that really is detrimental to you, because you just started a new job, a whole new career change. You don't need that. If you arrive at that conclusion on your own, then you arrive at it on your own. You don't need help from that. And that's the reason why I'm talking about these connections. It's not enough just merely to connect. What are we doing with that connection? Am I trying to go off to improve and do something better, work with that connection? Or is it, a light coming on to where maybe I can apply this somewhere else? Or this connection that we had, and is this just a connection that'll allow for bigger, further things down the road that I normally don't allow, but we connected in this one moment in time? I'm gonna go back to that example there for a moment, because I don't think I fleshed that out well enough early in the video. I thought about how it's been relationships that shouldn't be so good. I'm not talking about relationships. I'm just talking about encounters, whether it was family members, friends, or whatever the case may be. And it's really more on a downward swing than it is on an upward swing of things. But you have those moments where you connect, and those are the things that allow the relationship to continue on. And in some cases, it can allow you to basically enable yourself to continue on with the toxic relationship, because you're just like, oh, look, there's that one little good thing about it. I'm going to keep on doing it. Even though it's 95% bad, here's that 5% out of here, and it's really wearing on you, and it's really to your detriment. That's one of the connections that I'm talking about, where you walk away and you're like, oh, wow, that was good. It goes back to one of my earlier videos that I said, recorded like 2 years ago. Think about it like this. When you have some people in your life, and throughout the years, people have referred to these type of people as a whole lot of things. Haters. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. Think about it. They can't give you hate all the time, because it would be too apparent on who they were. You would question, like, why do I even have you around? Every time you're around, or me and you are conversing, it's always a battle. It's always negative. You have nothing good to say, and you would toss them aside. They have to give you some rights in there somewhere to justify their position. Oh man, yeah, you know what? This is the reason why I've kept this person around for 10 years, even though 8.5 years were absolutely terrible. I'm not talking about the last year and a half, they're making an improvement. I'm talking about it's been speckled throughout that relationship, throughout the 10 years. They pretty much been kind of like rot and a thorn in my side. Look up some of the other videos that I talk about these relationships on here. Just scan through them. I have the videos separated into categories on here, the off topic. Just scroll through some of those so you can see some of those examples, so I'm not filling them all out through here. But those are some of the situations that I'm talking about, to where you're trying to be the best you, and you're finding something good, or you're trying to look at something good for keeping on going with that relationship. But then when you look at it, you go, man, this is actually, I'm worse off with this relationship than the positive that I'm finding out of it. And the reason being is because it takes so much for me to get back to me. It takes so much for me to get back to 100% and be at my best. Actually, after I'm dealing with this person or these people, I'm coming home and it's making things rotten and spoiled for the relationships around me that are healthy. I find myself apologizing because, hey, man, I was brought out of character because, I got X, Y, Z going on. These are the things that I'm talking about. Connections are not merely enough, good or bad. If it's good, if it's a good connection, what are you doing to nurture and keep that connection going, or even see if there's something that you would like to explore further? Just because we connected, so what? That's the point of this video. My name is Ayin. Stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged. You all have a good one.